exercising. I believe some of Mr. Holiday said he goes out and he work out and stuff. But then after working out, he's just sitting around.
That's right, doing nothing. See, that's the problem. Our state is not giving these individuals nothing to do. All they can do is do time. That's all they're doing. So now, the more time they do, the more stressful they become because they want to go home. They don't have nothing to prepare them to go home. So now they're stressing. And now they turn to drugs. They turn to alcohol. They turn to gang activity. They turn to all of these things to try to help them cope with being incarcerated behind prison walls. And then you raise a parole board system that's broken. You got a re-entry program that's not even working. They don't even try to give these kids nothing to even reach for. No outside resources, no housing, no way of trying to make no type of funds to be able to reintegrate back into society. So right now we're just dealing with a whole broken system of government officials who don't even care now
Well,
about what's going on within our system.
well, we seen that they don't care by the way they had y'all unit over there looking, and they just got a grant for $1 million to take care of it, and they drug their feet to even give you guys clean water or hot water and working urinals and stuff. You know,
And thank you, and that's true, ma'am. You're right. But see, it wasn't until you and Mrs. Angela Thomas Smith of the Crew Podcast pushed emails to our state representatives, our Texas senators, our government officials, rehabilitation division, everybody to let them know that the state jail facility here is unconstitutional and that it's unconditional. The conditions are bad. Well, they came. I can witness that. They did come over here. I'm talking about like 40 of them. And they came for the whole 2 weeks that we've been here. And they have fixed everything, man. And they still fixing stuff right to this day.
what about
So
the
we know
water?
that happened. Yes, ma'am. They got the shower hall windows closed where they put trays in. They are no longer allowed to wash no trays in the trash cans over there. So as far as the water, ma'am, they're working on the water right now. So, you are absolutely right about that. Because the water is contaminated.
Well, thank God they
We
don't
told,
stop washing the trays and trash cans.
well, ma'am, they got the window closed. They got a board up on that window, believe me. When you stick your trays in that, no longer are they doing that. They got buckets and they dropping, they emptying their food out in some trash cans, and they putting their trays into the big old long buckets, and they washing them in hot water. So that's what they're doing with them. Where they washing them at, I have no idea. But we know that they're not being washed in that kitchen where they was washing them at. So
Wow.
we know, ma'am, that advocating it works, ma'am. If we're all on the same page, man, and we're advocating for the issues that matter. Drug crisis within our facility, our parole board system, our broken judicial court system.
Yeah.
People being wrongfully overly incarcerated. Juveniles being sentenced to life sentences without parole. People are being sentenced without competency hearings. People sitting on death row without competency hearings, having to be executed, waiting 15, 20 years just to be executed for crimes they didn't commit. Issues that need to be addressed, these people are not addressing them no more. You don't even
Right.
hardly hear about them no more, man.
Right. And
Yes.
speaking on death row, within the last month, within April, I believe Texas executed 3 or 4 men back to back. Every week they was executing someone.
Yes, ma'am.
Every week.
Okay. Okay, but these individuals are mostly under the Texas law or party, which means that they didn't commit the crime. Somebody else
Yeah.
committed the crime. They are just being held criminally responsible for the conduct of another person. So because of that, Texas is not providing any way out of allowing them people to prove their innocence. They just being executed for something somebody else done. And then on top of that, these people are not being given a psychological evaluation to determine whether or not they meet the requirements to be executed. Because if they're not over the percentage of 70% on an IQ or EA score, they are not. They cannot be executed, man. But how many people have they given this test to? A small percentage, man.
Right.
So what we're saying to them is that there's a lot of things that can be done and we push for them to be done. Now we can go and push for laws for them to go over there and do a psychological evaluation on all of the different